Hey guys, welcome back. This is the sixth lecture of our web development using ChatGPT and Rails. And in the last lecture, we worked on creating an instance method in the employee model to calculate the age of an employee based upon its date of birth. Okay, and we also learned what are derived attributes, and we did all these things by prompting on the ChatGPT. Okay, now in this lecture, what we will do that we will prompt on ChatGPT to create a controller for our employee resource, which will contain all the resource actions like index, create, new, edit, show, update, destroy. Okay, so let's ask to the ChatGPT to create a resource controller. Okay, so first we need to tell the ChatGPT that I have a Rails application with employee model, and now I want to create a controller. So let me know how we can do that. Okay, so let's prompt the same question here. I have an employee model in my Rails application, and I want to create a controller for it, a resource controller for it. How can I do that? How can I do that? Okay, so when you tell this thing to ChatGPT, it will give you all the steps to do that. Okay, so here you can see that this is doing something like that. Okay, so let's finish this response generation first, and then we will do that. So here you can see that it is showing you that the steps to create the controller. So first you need to generate the controller employees. Okay, and then you need to define the actions in your employees controller.rb. Okay, and here you can see that how it is doing. So it has created a resource controller for you, where you can see employees controller inherited by application controller, and there are the resource action created by ChatGPT, which is index, show, new, create, edit, uh, update, and destroy. Okay, so here you can see that this is the controller, but here are the parameters that we do not have in our employee model, that is name, email, position. However, we have just name and email, but it had just given based upon the required attributes, or that are the general attributes, you can say. Okay, so now what we will tell ChatGPT that I have these attributes in my employee model, so based upon these attributes, can you create a new resource controller? Okay, so first let's find all the attributes into the employee model. Okay, so what we can do here, employee dot column names. Okay, and when you do this, here you can see that we have id, first name, last name, email, contact number, address, pin code, city, state, date of birth, date of hiring, created date, and updated date. Okay, however, we will not use id, created date, and updated date. Okay, so what we will do that we will just copy these first name, last name, email, contact number, address, pin code, city, state, date of birth, date of hiring. Okay, and why I'm not taking these created date and updated date and the id attribute, because id will be generated automatically whenever a new record will be created into the database, and created it, updated it are automatically assigned as values. Okay, so whenever you create a record first time, the created date value get the date time of a particular moment, and whenever you update your employee record, it will get the updated value. Okay, so what we can do that we will tell chat gpt that we have these attributes, first name, last name, email, contact number, and so on, and then chat gpt will permit these params into the controller. Okay, so let's go to the chat gpt screen and prompt a new question. So what we can do here, I have following attributes in the employee model, and I want to create controller for employees resource by permitting these value attributes. Okay, paste the values here, and now you can say, can you give me controller, can you give me such controller? And when you prompted the question, ChatGPT will tell you certainly below is the controller for your resource. Okay, so here you can see that now this controller is very much reflected, where you can see some what you can say, some callbacks, okay, like filter action to set the employee. So here you can see that why this I'm saying that this is the more better and reflected controller. Here you can see that in the previous response it is fetching the id of every employee for all the member actions like show, new, create, edit, update, destroy, and so on, okay. And now here you can see that it has added a before action callback, okay, that is before action set employee, and only for the action show, edit, update, destroy, because these are the member action, and for member actions we require the id of the resource, okay. So you can just copy this controller, okay, copy this code, and now we will generate an employees controller into our project, okay. So just switch to the terminal tab, and here what you can do, rails g controller employees, okay. And when you generate this controller you will see that it has created a new controller, that is app controllers employees controller.rb, okay. And now when you open this employees controller.rb and remove the existing code, and now paste all these things here, so here you will see that it has all the code now, that is before set employee, show, edit, update, destroy, and this is employee.all, show, new, edit, create, update, destroy, all the actions are here, okay. And you can see that this is working as expected. And here you can see that this is the callback set employee, and here it is finding the employee by its id and then using it for show, edit, update, and destroy action, and here it is passing all the parameters which are used for the employee, or which will get used for the employee. So here you can see first name, last name, email, contact number, address, pin code, city, state, date of birth, and date of hiring, okay. So this is the complete controller, and you can generate a resource controller in very fast manner by prompting on ChatGPT with proper attributes, okay, whatever you want to permit in your uh, create and update actions, okay. So this is the employee controller. Now let's call, or sorry, now let's ask ChatGPT to describe that what are the member actions in this controller and what are the collection actions in this controller, okay. So let's ask to the ChatGPT. So go to the browser, and now here you can type, can you please tell me that which actions are member actions in this controller, and which actions are the collection actions, okay. And when you submit this prompt it will show you that what are the members actions and what are the collection action, okay. And here you will see in the response that let's identify which action in the employees controllers are member action and which ones are the collection. So these are the member action: show, edit, update, destroy. Why? Because this needs the id, and you can see in the definition on the top of this question's response that member actions are the actions that operate on a specific member of a resource, typically identified by its id, and collection actions on the other hand operate on the entire collection of resource, okay. So here you can see index, new, and create are the collection actions. So this way you can understand all these things, okay. Now one thing as the last that we need to do, that here in the previous response you can see that we need to set the resources employees into a routes file as well, okay. So what you can do, you can simply call this resources line, and now go to the rails routes, okay. And here, sorry, in the routes file what we can do, go to the config, open the routes.rb, okay. And here after the route path what you can do, just simply define resources employees, okay. So this is how we can create resource controllers from the ChatGPT. We just asked, or we just prompted on ChatGPT that I have this model with these attributes and I want a resource controller for this, and ChatGPT did rest of the things, okay. So this is all for this lecture. Now in the next lecture we will try to generate view files or view templates for this employee resource, and we will just do this by prompting on the ChatGPT, okay. So just follow this lecture and we will meet into the next one. Till then, tata, goodbye, take care, and stay safe.